you, everybody, and I really appreciate you all being here tonight. I was thinking tonight, or earlier today, as I was getting ready for tonight, it was over 7 years ago when I was in this very room and announced that I wanted to run for this office. Where does time go? And I'm happy to tell all of you that I love this job more and more every single day, despite everything that goes on at the State House and all the frustrations that all of us deal with. It's great to have the opportunity to serve all of you, and I can't thank all of you enough. Those of you that were with me 7 years ago and the new friends that I've met along the way, I would not be able to do what I do in Beacon Hill without your support. So thank you to all of you. Thank you very much. You know, my philosophy, issues have changed along the way in the last 7 years, certainly. Some are quite different than they were, some are very similar. But my philosophy has always stayed the same, and that's this. Our government is too big. Our taxes are too high. We don't place enough emphasis on personal responsibility and individual freedom. And in addition to that, we're not making the right decisions at the State House about how we should be governing the people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I think the people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts know what is the best for them. And one thing I've learned over the last few years is that when you serve in the House and when you serve in the Senate, you have to make decisions. And much of what we do is about money and about what we can do to better the lives of the citizens that we represent. And what it all comes down to is we are forced to make priorities. I've always said that government cannot and should not be all things to all people, but we have to recognize that there are basic government services that we have to support. Services like public safety, services like education, and support for our locals and cities and towns. And that's one of the things that I have fought very, very hard for over my career. Because my philosophy is that if people are going to send their hard-earned tax dollars to Beacon Hill, then we ought to do the right thing, turn around, send that money back to them in their local communities where they best know how to make decisions on how their tax dollars should be spent. Where they can support their local police departments, their local fire departments, their school systems, county services like the sheriff's department, county services like the district attorney's office. Those are all the places where the rubber meets the road, and that's where we as taxpayers get the most direct benefit for our tax dollars. So I will continue to work hard to do that. And you all need to know that it's not an easy battle. And the reason that it's not is because we live in a state where we don't have balance in the legislature. We really need to have two-party government. And believe me, there are many Democrats on Beacon Hill that will tell you the exact same thing that I'm telling you. If you get a chance, tune into former Speaker Finneran's program that he has on WBZ sometime. WRKO. WRKO, sorry, right. And you will hear him from time to time talk about the fact that he would have found it easier, not only would he was Speaker, but it would certainly be better now if we had two-party government. And as I was thinking about that today, I thought back to the birth of our nation. I thought back to 1789 when George Washington first became president, and he and the founding fathers put the experiment that our Constitution was at that time into effect. And one of the things that George Washington said or did was he warned against two-party government. And ironically enough, it's really been two-party government that has enhanced the checks and balances that are found within our Constitution. And we've lost sight of that here in Massachusetts, and we've got to remind the voters that we need to bring that back. And I know that the voters in Massachusetts stand for a lot of the things that we as good citizens stand for. They've recognized the importance of two-party government since 1990. Up until recently, we elected a Republican governor for 16 years. But as Vince said a minute ago, much of the power in our Commonwealth lies with the legislature. And it's important for us to have a checks and balances system so that both parties can keep one another in check. And trust me, if the shoe was on the other foot and the Republicans had the stronghold on the State House that the Democrats have right now, things wouldn't be much different. Because it takes differences of opinion, it takes discussion, it takes debate to come up with the right solution for our citizens. And we don't have that right now. We wouldn't be in a situation where we have had 3 speakers that have recently served who are now under indictment. Because the reality of it is, folks, is that power corrupts, and when you have one-party government, you place so much power in the hands of so few people. And we've got to recognize as a state right now that we need to make a change. We had an opportunity to do that last week in the House of Representatives. It was one day after Speaker DeMacy was indicted. We had the chance to extend the olive branch to the public and say, you know what, we hear it. We understand loud and clear that the public is upset with us, that they've lost faith in the House and in the Senate. And we can begin to restore faith by extending an olive branch and taking a symbolic gesture and ending 2 holidays that are only available to the employees of Suffolk County that the rest of us as taxpayers, all of us, pay for. And what happened? We didn't do it. So we've all got to continue to work hard. Let people know that we all here stand for the values that they stand for. We want their kids to have great education. We want their public safety to be the best in the country. And we've got to continue to support that. We have a lot of, in fact, we've got a lot of public safety people here today. We've got members of different police unions here. We've got the sheriff here. We've got employees from the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department. And these are hardworking folks. They go to work every day. They protect you and I. And we want to make sure that we continue to provide them with the funding that they need so that they can give us the services that we need. So I take my hat off to each and every one of them. And there are so many other government workers throughout our state that do the right thing every day. When they educate our kids, like I said earlier, when they fix our roads, when they plow our streets. So that's where the rubber meets the road. We need more people on Beacon Hill who realize that, and realize that in tough economic times, we need to prioritize. There may be some very worthwhile services that we need to forego right now so that we can support basic government services. And that's what prioritizing is all about. So thank all of you for coming here tonight. I just want to take a moment too and really recognize Sheriff McDonald and District Attorney Cruz. I can tell you when I was a young attorney, I knew these 2 gentlemen before any of us served in public office. We all banged around the courthouses together, and well, I guess Joe McDonald and I were kind of young then. I don't know if Tim Cruz was as young as we are. But anyway, you know, I was fortunate enough to have a wonderful professional relationship with these 2 gentlemen before we served public office, and it has continued as all of us have the opportunity and the pleasure to serve you. I can tell you firsthand that Tim and Joe are constantly at the State House lobbying myself and the other reps and the senators for programs that are important to you. Joe is up there working on bills that will save the taxpayers of Plymouth County and the 26 communities that make up Plymouth County all kinds of dollars. He's there all the time. Tim Cruz, I can't even begin to tell you, he's up there fighting for tough sex offender registry legislation. He was instrumental in Melanie's bill, and there are countless other bills that he reaches out to us on and comes up to the State House so that he can make our state safer. So let's give these guys a great hand. And I want to thank all you people again for being here, for supporting me, and I look forward to working with you all in the future. Let's get to work.